Hello everyone and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today we're going over the new anti-champion counters coming in Lightfall. And yes, this is one of the many changes coming in Lightfall. I believe we're also getting more weapons with intrinsic anti-champion counters as well. This will just be pertaining to the abilities that will stun champions in Lightfall. So we'll go over here for Barrier, starting with that. Strand, with its Unraveling rounds, will be a counter to Barrier. For Solar, you will have the Radiant ability, which you can use either at melees to get Radiant. For the Hunters, you have Dodge as well, that makes you Radiant. And there are a few other abilities as well, aspects and whatnot, that will make you Radiant as well. And the last thing that will stun Barrier champions is for Void, and that will be Volatile rounds. So that will also stun Barrier champions. Now, we haven't really seen how Unraveling rounds work yet. There, I believe, is some footage of it in the Vidoc and perhaps other Lightfall material as well, but I haven't really seen much of it yet. Although we'd have to consider that it's probably something similar to Volatile rounds and how that works. For Solar, Radiant is very easy to proc, and you can save, your melee for it. You can save your dodge if you're on a hunter, so that's very nice as well. And for Volatile, if you're a Gear Falcon hunter, that's pretty easy to do as well. Although on the other classes, I don't really think it's all that easy. However, they are buffing Volatile come Lightfall as well, so that'll be fun to see. Barrier, I think, if you ask me, it definitely isn't the most annoying champion, but it's definitely the second out of the three, right? With the next being the least annoying, and that is Unstoppable champions. Now, I don't know about you, Unstops are actually my favorite. You're probably wondering why I would enjoy a large ogre running at me and punching me into the ground. Well, I don't, but I do enjoy the fact that they're the only champion of the three being Barrier, Unstop, and Overload, that they don't regen their health. So even if you can't kill them right away, or you stun them and maybe you get stuck fighting other enemies or something like that, or one of your friends goes down so you have to, go invis and res them or something like that, that Unstopped champion will still be at the same amount of health, ready to stun and absolutely bam blast yet again. However, if you don't stun them, they're gonna kill you most of the time. So, the anti-champion counters for Unstop include Strand, which is Suspend, for Solar on Ignitions, Stasis, anything that you shatter will stun, and then for Arc, anything that blinds will stun the Unstops. So, Shatter Dive Hunter for Stasis making a comeback? Maybe. I think Stasis is already really, really good against Unstops anyways, because you can use it just to stun lock them essentially and melt them without even stunning them. So that's definitely a plus. For the Strand, Suspend, we'll have to see how that works, although I think we see some of it in the Vidoc as well, with the Titan Super having the ability to do that. And for Solar Ignitions, there are some builds you can run, whether it be with Consecration on a Titan or your Throwing Knife on a Hunter. There's plenty of ways to get Ignitions off. And for Blinding on Arc, also plenty of ways to do that. So that will be fun for Unstopped. Again, I really think they're not that difficult, so these extra ways to counter them will be good and make it harder to die to them, but not impossible. Lastly, we have my personal favorite, and my favorite I mean the absolute worst, Overload champions. So you can either suppress these overloads with Void, you can jolt them with Arc, or you can slow them with Stasis. Do I hear Osmio Mancy Gloves for overloads? Maybe. Actually, no. Renewal Grasps definitely sound like the job, right? Script Grenade build for the Jolt? Maybe. One Punch build could work as well on a Hunter with a Assassin's Cowl. Jolting is just such a fun thing to do, right? Volt Shot as well would help with that. And for Suppression, just a good old-fashioned Suppression Grenade, right? Even though it takes forever to charge up. I think this is a really good way for Bungie to introduce a new way to stun champions without having to rely too heavily on artifact mods or intrinsic weapons, because part of the reason why guns like Arbalest, Wish Ender, Thunderlord, Bastion, part of the reason they're used so often is because of their ability to stun champions. So we might see those guns have a little bit of a reduction in use, although Arbalest by itself is just good in general because of its ability to break shields, any shields that is, and of course the range that it has, as well as intrinsic anti-barrier, which is just, again, so very, very nice. Also, Leviathan's Breath, slept on. It's a really, really good intrinsic unstop weapon. Quite possibly the best in the game because of how, I mean, it hits like a Mack truck. If you don't have that, I would definitely recommend getting that before Lightfall, because it's really, really good for stunning unstops, and it's a decent damage weapon as well for DPS. Anyways, those are the counters being introduced in Lightfall. Let me know what you guys think about these counters below, and which one you might be using the most often come Lightfall. Anyways, subscribe if you haven't already. It would be greatly appreciated, as most people who watch my videos are not subscribed. And if you could like this video as well, to let me know you enjoy this content. And as always, know that your view itself alone is plenty for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.